I feel like this game would be one of the most anticipated of 2022 and like a shoo-in for people's Game of the Year lists if they would have just stuck with what worked. And now, once we see the game, they're just sticking with what worked after all anyways? I don't know. I feel like gaming fans are always saying, let the game speak for itself. We don't need the fancy CG 5-minute intro. We don't need a list of features given candidly by the PR person. We just need the game. Like, just show us the game. And Gotham Knights showed us the game. And I feel so weird. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all doing fantastic. The first Gotham Knights video here on ScooperHeroes. Hit that like button if you're excited as we branch out into all realms of superhero-dom all over this kingdom. Batman is the king, and Batman has been dark for 7 years. It's so odd. You have these franchises like Dead Space, BioShock, Batman Arkham. They disappear for like almost a decade. It makes no sense to me. I think it's a huge mistake. We're talking about mega selling, mega popular, mega critically well-received franchises that just go zoom. And Gotham Knights is back, and Callisto Protocol and Dead Space are back. BioShock still waiting on that one. Please, one day, 2K, make it happen. Anyhow, Gotham Knights, 16 minutes, the first 16 of the game. They have talked a big game about Gotham Knights. They've showed bits and pieces, features, characters, and I feel like the best it's ever looked is today. And I don't know if that's like indicative of what's to come and like a great sign, or it's just the beginning of the game, so it's gonna look pretty standard and good, because Gotham Knights looks, from this demo, like a Batman Arkham game, albeit with some cornier characters and some voice acting that kind of just threw me off. Let me quote one of the bad guys. One of the dudes that you fought said, "You burn now, grass. No one will ever mow you again." Threatening? Funny? I don't know what they're going for there, but I do know that they got the combat, they got the environment, they got the lighting, and they got the moves looking crisp. When Gotham Knights isn't busy with gear stats and all sorts of loot and multiplayer, it really feels, I think, great. There was only one instance in this game where all of these like extras popped up. Like, you're getting XP and that's fine, but there was one moment where it's like you collected like 98 bubbly boos. I don't know what they were. And I was like, okay, this game has loot. This game has gear. It doesn't have microtransactions, but inevitably it's going to have DLC. It has 2-player co-op, but it's not a live service game, and it definitely is not 4-player. It's sort of just this in-between, and it feels like they are chasing a lot of big concepts in gaming, and yet not fully committing to any, because they know this is supposed to be a Batman game. And I wonder if this game is going to come down to the fact that they just should have stuck with Batman. I understand the idea to bridge and branch out, but honestly, since it's not 4, it's 2, you could have done that with the OG. You could have done it with the Caped Crusader. The recent Batman movie was fantastic, so I feel like the momentum is there, and yet we've got this quartet who start off, I think, a little corny, but once the game starts rolling, this feels like a Batman game. Diverse, cool environments, a little bit of detective work, and it was deeper than I expected. Like, they kind of went 2D for a second, and you were kind of moving around trying to find passwords and codes. It looked simple and easy, but still giving a little bit more than just following the footprints, which there is some of that as well, but that's part of Batman. It's the combat that became all the combats, yet we haven't had that combat in a while. I feel like the Batman combat, like, where's it been? Where has the Batman combat been? Think of a game that does the Batman combat as well as Batman used to do the Batman combat, and Gotham Knights can do that again. You know, maybe all of these things we worried about, like the gear scores and the stats and the co-op and the bosses with the health bars, maybe they'll just blur into the background and they'll be afterthoughts. But then I say, then why'd you do it this way? I think they're in a really tough spot, because either they justify all their new systems and it's very different than what Arkham was, or their systems feel like they aren't really that big of a deal, and then it's like, well, you just made the same game with these sort of extra flourishes that feel like you put them there for no reason. But when I watch 16 minutes, I say, okay, I like that we're hanging up, we're grappling, all right, we're investigating. We're watching somebody get taken away in an ambulance and figuring out what went wrong with their death. There's a secret door, we unlock it. Clearly something's going on with beastie creatures. There's a shark in a test tube, giant spider crabs in a test tube, and I like where it's headed. You pick a character and you play through the campaign. You can do it solo, you can do it 2-player co-op, and I think 2-player co-op is, like, I think that could be really fun. To me, 4-player co-op is overwhelming, and I personally am not all that into it. I know some people wanted 4-player for this game and don't think it makes sense that you got the 4 characters, but you can only play with 2, and then if they add DLC, it just feels like, what? And the potential to add DLC to build upon the movesets and the supers effectively, and the different traversal moves and the gear, that could be cool. But I go back to, should this just have been a Batman game? I think the story is stronger if it's a Batman game. I think the voice acting and cast are stronger if it's a Batman game. I think the IP is more sellable if it's a Batman game. So why did they go this route? Why did they do this? One of two things. Either one, there's going to be a big mid-game twist like there was before. And even though they've said, no, they're just tricking us. And they've done it before, so I wouldn't put it past them. The other thing is that they want this to separate itself. And that's kind of a catch-22, because what I've seen before separated itself and I didn't like it. And now I see that it's much more looking like how Arkham played, and I like it the most. And I went back and I watched the Arkham Knight gameplay reveal, and you really forget, your eyeballs mistaken how long it's been. This game doesn't look amazing. I don't think it looks anywhere near as good as like Sony's first-party PS5 exclusives. Remember, Gotham Knights is just next gen now. I don't see the graphical prowess to really like justify that for me. Maybe it comes in the size and the scope of the world, the lack of loading, the ability to traverse inside, outside. Maybe all of that's going to be really impressive. But it looks good, and it looks way better than Arkham Knight did. And you don't have the pesky Batmobile, even though I kind of liked it. And you have this brand new storyline and 4 characters, and it looked like Batman. So my hype for this right now is higher than it's been. I was sky high when Gotham got announced, and then I went down as everything got revealed. And I felt like the last reveal they had back a couple months ago, I felt like it looked bad. I felt like it looked boring and dull and generic. And I feel like this has won me back over. I'm like, okay, let's see what you can do. Let's see if you can pull this off, because what I see on screen is good. The game, speaking for itself, is good. Is the game betraying the new mechanics, the features, the add-ons, the modern conveniences? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But right now, there is only one pop-up of loot acquisition, no gear screen, and that combat, it packed a punch. You got the range attacks, you got the dodge, you got the finishers. The sound was good. The environments looked cool. Flames and fire everywhere. Of course, you got people on the intercom telling you like, yo, get back over here. We're working on this. Nothing over here. And I hope that the characters don't devolve into like a high school cartoon. Kind of got that vibe at the beginning. And I think, again, the Batman vibe would have been stronger, but we'll see what they can do. And we'll see if there's a mid-game twist. And I feel hopeful that come October, Gotham Knights can actually be a resounding, fun return for the Batman franchise, albeit without Batman. 7 years has been way too long. This game has had multiple chances to earn our trust. I feel like it's kind of been shaky. This was the best yet. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. They're trying to be different, but they're trying to be the same. But should they have just used Batman? I think that kind of would have, I don't know. I feel if it had just Batman and they weren't messing around with some of these systems that seem sort of half in there, half not. It's not live service, but we have all this gear. It's not microtransactions, but you can equip all these. I feel like this game would be one of the most anticipated of 2022 and like a shoo-in for people's Game of the Year lists if they would have just stuck with what worked. And now, once we see the game, they're just sticking with what worked after all anyways. I don't know. Kind of a mess, kind of excited, kind of worried, kind of want to know what you guys all think. So let me know in the comments down below. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, peace.